Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adele D'Souza from Centripetal. I was going to ask you to try and attempt to pronounce our brand name without telling you. I've had some interesting renditions over the morning, but I've also met some other companies with some special pronunciations. I'm going to spend the next 10 to 12 minutes talking to you not just about the company, the technology, but this whole session is around the evolution of the channel and the change that's happened within the channel and for MSPs. And the bit that I want to focus on specifically, and the bit that we're working with a number of our partners on, is mindset and the cultural approach that we're taking to solve cybersecurity and try and keep cybercrime at bay and fight the attackers that have no intention of stopping or slowing down in any capacity. So you're going to have to excuse me on some of the formatting here. I've just noticed that some of it's not quite loaded. From the get-go, from Centripetal as a vendor, the first thing that I'd like to vision, which probably isn't going to know, is the channel deserves vendors that don't position the standard as the sublime. The vendors that you work with should be providing true partnerships. They should be providing portals, they should be providing training, commercial opportunities and margin. That is standard, and the way that the channel has grown and the amount of vendors that are out there and the number of organisations that are all vying for your time, that should come as standard. So I really want to set the benchmark there. That is normal. The sublime comes in the value add, it comes in the next part. So cyber defence today, a number of my previous esteemed speakers have mentioned how we look at defence today. We load the rules, we wait. We wait for the breach. When we see the breach, we react. Quickly, but we react. So we wait, we react, we investigate, we keep looking, we keep searching, and then we fix it, then we update the rules, and then we cross our fingers and hope that the rules have worked and the breach doesn't happen again, which undoubtedly does, and we start the cycle again. The mindset piece that I want to look at around that is, what if we don't have to do it like that? What if we don't have to do it in that order? Intelligence-powered cybersecurity, which is what we offer at Centripetal, really focus on the word intelligence. We're using a different way of looking at this. Threat intelligence providers is not a new concept, but there's hundreds of them. Absolutely hundreds of them. Some of them there are shown on the screen. There's a 3% overlap. So there'll be a number of organisations say, oh, we have threat intel, we've got a feed, you've got one feed. These feeds at times can be almost 6 figures to deploy. Intelligence-powered cybersecurity is, with the 14-year-old company that Centripetal is, over $200 million in R&D, and an abundance of patents, has gone, what if we take all of those threat intelligence and put them together and deploy a global policy that could work? And what if we do that at the edge? What if we don't do this on a device by device by device? But what if we stop them because we take all that intelligence and make a decision at the gate, at the get-go, based on a number of variables? What if we look at it and go, that's possibly from a sanctioned country? Oh, actually, that's possibly coming from an IP that we don't trust. Actually, that's trying to attack a port that we need to be a little bit mindful of. And what if we change the mindset in how we address cybersecurity? That was the first thing. Like I said, the company's been running for about 14 years. Heavy base over in the US, with our European headquarters, Remir headquarters, on the west coast of Ireland over in Galway, which is where I and my colleagues who are downstairs on booth 5 are all based. As we started talking to the market and talking to the partners we work with and some of the end users we work with across a number of industries, defence in depth came up, right? It's a well-known concept. It's something that many of you who've been in this industry a bit longer than I have for sure. This is what we're doing at the moment, right? This is where it all sits. The last 5 that we see here, we're kind of going, all of these have alerts, all of these are having the little flag go up, it's filling the socks, it's filling the seams, it's filling your data lakes. You're also paying to store them as well, by the way. If we go back to that intelligence concept of stopping it from the get-go, would that reduce the downstream noise and the impact? And the reality is, if this ticks, if we don't wait, if we don't be reactive, if we don't cross our fingers and hope for the best, or indeed try and play whack-a-mole down here, we could be preemptive on it. Truly preemptive, not proactive. Proactive is fast, preemptive is before. what if we could put intelligence, watching for ATDs, reconnaissance, suppression, shielding as a managed service before in the security stack? Spoke to a lady downstairs, and she asked specifically clean internet as a concept, our intelligence-powered cybersecurity. Where does it sit, topology-wise? It sits in front of the firewall. Shock. Would it be like in front? And yes, in front. So there was a mindset piece about that, but I did premise the conversation with that idea. So where I believe and where we're beginning to see the change and the evolution of the channel is in the mindset. This isn't a more and more vendors filling the market, more and more solutions going on, let's continue to play whack-a-mole. This is how do we think about security differently? And we're seeing that deployed with some of our end users. But then what does that mean for the MSPs of this world, or indeed the MSSPs of this world? Both those that are currently operating in that space and those that have ambitions to get to that space. I'm very worried that this might not work out. This is what we're seeing. It's almost like a volume bar, right? It goes up and down. We're seeing all these alerts come through. How do we manage them? How do we get more customers? The last thing we need is another product. There's going to be another alert. I don't want to give you any more alerts. I feel like you probably guys don't sleep enough as it is. So as these continue to jump, what I would like to do is suggest that we have the conversation to help our partners put clean internet at the gate, at the edge, and reduce the noise downstream. Not only have you reduced the noise downstream, but we've dealt with all the things that the threat intelligence that exists out there has already told us is not good news. 95% of breaches had known threat intelligence. It was known. And whilst, as you heard, my title, I'm in marketing, so there's an argument to say proactive, preemptive, is it one of the same? Is it really going to make a difference? This is a real life example. Move It happened globally last year, but there was big coverage of it here in Ireland. This is an exact example of what we saw. So the CVE was published on day 0 in this instance, right? And what I wanted to show you was, if we scroll back at minus 90 days, that's when Clean Internet was able to identify the IOCs that grew to become the CVE that we now know to be Move It. But we addressed it there. We didn't wait for the jigsaw puzzles to all fall in place for us to see the full picture and go, oh, it's a vulnerability. That looked dodgy, that looks dodgy, let's just move them out of the way. A very similar chart can be seen for the Log4Shell vulnerability that took place a good few years ago. And very, very similar to that, will you see, oh, it didn't click. For the Palo Alto vulnerability that took place last week. So, oh, thank you, it's jumped too quick. Give me time. A quick session was mindful I was 5 of 5, wanted to open the floor to you guys, but preemptive protection, I genuinely believe will be the future of cybersecurity. I think we will begin to see it be demanded of end users, and they will come to you, their trusted advisors in MSP and MSSP land, to fix that. And so the products that we spend time developing and continue to develop will hopefully allow us to address that. Very short, very sweet, like I said. It was mindset, culture of how we're addressing cybersecurity and how we think that MSPs can be involved in that, given we're 100% channel. That really is all I have to say. Thank you very much.